get started. So yeah, once again, thanks for joining me. I think this would be really cool for the viewers. We're trying to get more female viewers, female voices, because there's like quite a good female viewership on the show, like 30%. So I think this would be really good for them to hear. Why do you think that the IOC is kind of hesitant to put baseball in the Olympics? Because we see other sports that don't appear to be at least more popular that are in the Olympics every year.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I think baseball is a tough sell when it is in the middle of the season. All of the players who are the best players for their countries are essentially playing minor league or major league baseball. And it is tough for their teams to want to let them go. It is tough for them to sacrifice whatever they may need to sacrifice in order to leave their team or leave their organization. It is just a really tough sell, and I don't think Major League Baseball is ever going to kind of like put a pause on the season to let guys play. So in Japan this year, in the league, the baseball league in Japan, they are pausing their season and they are letting their players play for their country. But I think it is just a different viewpoint, and I'm just not sure it'll ever get there the way that kind of hockey is, or anything that might be comparable is there.
Right. And with the NBA, their season never happens. So for them, it doesn't matter either, right? Like they don't never have to worry about that. So that makes it easy for them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and you think about obviously the basketball, like Team USA Dream Team got a lot more hype after Michael Jordan's documentary, The Last Dance. And I think it kind of like got people pumped for like the best players playing in the Olympics and what they could do when they're together on one team. So, I mean, I think a lot of people would love to see it. I don't know exactly what all the difficulties are, but I mean, it would be great. And I mean, MLB does have the answer of the World Baseball Classic, but I mean, the Olympics are a whole different beast.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. So speaking of the Olympics and the American team winning the qualifying tournament and moving on to automatically in the Olympics, just kind of what can Canadians expect for them? Are they the favorite to win more so than like these Latin American countries, or what would you say? I know you follow that.
I would say it's going to be, I would say it's going to be hard to beat Japan. Japan is going to have all of its top players. It is putting a pause on its season. It is the host country. They are going to have the fans. They are going to have everything in their favor. And Japan has always been an incredible baseball country. They are just unbelievably dedicated to their craft. And I think Japan is going to be really hard to beat. Mexico came out really strong in the Premier 12, which they qualified out of. Korea is also playing in the Olympics, Team Israel, Team USA, and then another team to be determined from that last chance qualifier. But I think personally, I think Japan is probably going to be the team to beat.
Don't go anywhere. More with Alexis when we return.
Hello, I'm Sean McNall, owner of TG Marketing. We are a promotional product company located in Regina, Saskatchewan. Originally founded by Tom G. McNall in 1985, we are now in our 35th year of business. My brother Ryan and I, along with our great staff, have carried the torch since Tom retired in 2011. For those of you who don't know what we do, we sell items with a company's logo on it, like clothing, pens, phone chargers, Bluetooth speakers. The list of products available is endless. Our products are a great form of advertising. Whether you want to give a gift to a valued client or show your appreciation to your staff, we have a friendly team that can help find the right product for your needs. The key to our success has been our customer service and our vast knowledge of products in our industry. We ask the right questions to get you in line with the proper product for the project you are working on. Stop by 1046 Winnipeg Street and view our showroom. Get some ideas for that next promotion you're working on. Let's make your business what everyone's talking about.
Why do you think that women's baseball is not in the Olympics? And do you think that this kind of supports the notion of, like a lot of people only think that women should play softball? Do you think this kind of supports that sexist idea?
Yeah, it's tough because I do think softball deserves to be there, but I think women's baseball also deserves to be there, and maybe men's softball as well. When Toronto hosted the Pan Am Games in 2015, we got a chance to see men's baseball, men's softball, women's softball. But I think for organizations like the IOC, even the WBSC, kind of the answer to having equality for men's baseball has always been women's softball. It's just kind of the default, even though women want to play baseball too. There's just that default answer like, oh, well, here's equality and this is what it looks like. And it's women's softball. So it is tough. The women's team also, the Canadian women's national team also doesn't have the same opportunities or the same money behind them or the same kind of chances to get together, which makes it really difficult to remain competitive. And the team is very competitive. The team is consistently ranked among the top teams in the world. But all of the teams really kind of have that battle. All of the women playing women's baseball in Canada, in the US, in Australia, in Mexico, I think most places outside of Japan, the women have full-time jobs. They are surgeons, teachers, doctors, police officers, and they're just doing this to try and, keep the dream alive. And for them, the Pan Am Games in 2015 was the first opportunity ever to even be at a multi-sport event. So that was kind of not even a thought. And then obviously the Olympics were just like way out of anybody's mind. And I know that the women just truly appreciated what it was like to be in an athlete's village, to be around these other Canadian athletes, to get a chance to be outfitted by Team Canada, to have kind of the opportunities that they have that they never really get. And so, they didn't get a chance to even return to the next Pan Am Games in 2019. The women's baseball just wasn't a part of it because Peru didn't have a women's baseball team. So, it's always been kind of a tough slog for women's baseball and for people who are looking for those opportunities. And I think that women's softball has always just been an easy answer when people are saying, you need equity here, you need equality here. And people are saying, well, the answer to men's baseball is women's softball. I think it's just always been the easy answer, and people don't often try to dig deeper than that.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the pre-show today. Once again, my name is Rachel Bishop, the Rod Pedersen Show intern here. And be sure to keep your dial on Game Plus or wherever you're watching, because Rod and Darren are coming up.
That Habs logo is on most buildings 365, just in the windows of businesses, right?
Oh, yeah.
But that's it. You don't see people running around the streets with Habs gear on and yelling and stuff. They don't think they're going to win tonight.
How about that?
People say, it would be nice if they won so Tampa could win at home in front of their crowd. You probably saw what John Cooper said about that. He's like, no, we're ending it in Game 4. They're not that positive about tonight.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It absolutely is. Good day, Canada. Canadian sports fans around the world. Welcome to the RP Show. We're live. We're in the bunker. And we're ready to talk sports for the next 2 hours. You'll notice that there is no Moose DuPont. You just saw the wide shot if you are watching on Game Plus TV or YouTube or Facebook. The Listen Live people could not. But Moose is off for a couple of days. Can I say, Darren, what he's doing? He's caddying. That's what he's doing. And good for him, because he's got a beautiful week for it. So I can do this. I'm rolling solo here for the next while. coming up on the program today. Sportsnet Sean Reynolds, Justin Dunk from 3downnation.com, and the NLL's Devin Caney, the face of the NLL. I'm a little out of sorts. We just rolled in. We got back after the game last night from Montreal. How about those Habs, guys?
How about that?
Yeah, how about that? And I literally just kicked this goalie mask onto my feet. These things are heavy. But I got a lot of things to get to here in the warm-up for E-Cold Electric. And you know what? Why don't we jump into that? Please, Director Jordan, can you hit that? The Quick Six show topics, please. The Quick Six. Thank you. And you'll see what I'm talking about here. Number one, the Montreal Canadiens knock off the Tampa Bay Lightning 3-2 in overtime, extending the Stanley Cup Final. And away we go to Tampa for Game 5. And you look at the game last night. It's part of my commentary today on Cat Country 98 FM and Rock 98.5. There's something about Josh Anderson that he's only got 5 goals in these Stanley Cup playoffs. It seems like he's got 20, but you know why it seems like he's got so many goals? It's because all the goals he scores are big. So you probably heard the intro to the show here where, just 24 hours ago, I was in downtown Montreal where even the most ardent of Habs fans were just kind of turning out the lights, peeing on the fire of the season, going, hey, we made it this far. It's been great. But the players couldn't think that way. Dominic Ducharme couldn't think that way. And they came out and, I don't know if you would say they laid a whooping on the Tampa Bay Lightning last night. I went and looked up the shots this morning. I've seen a few different the hit totals. It's like 37-34. Tampa Bay out-hit the Montreal Canadiens. But Carey Price had his game of the series, and away we go. And there's a little bit of you, right? There's a little bit of you thinking that Montreal could come back and win this series. I have written here, Montreal. I have to say this. I was just on the phone this morning with a CFL guy, and he said, how was Montreal? And I said, it was life-changing. And I want to thank Game Plus and DuPont Media and Darren for sending us out there to do those live shows Thursday, Friday. I did the live hit yesterday from out front of the Bell Center. This is what I said to my buddy, this CFL guy this morning, who, by the way, played for the Allowance at one time. I said, they're watching us out there. And they weren't just watching us when we came out there. They've been watching for a long time. I'm not going to go into specifics specifically. Obviously, Knuckles Nyland's one, my good friend, where we had supper Friday night to watch Game 3. What a gong show that was. But then, I guess why you people like this show is these stories. So here's one. Sunday night, Chris Milo, the 2-time Grey Cup champion kicker with the Saskatchewan Roughriders and Ottawa Redblacks, was watching my story, and he said, you better call my dad. Are you calling my dad? Because my dad's going to be really mad if he knew that you were in Montreal and he didn't call. You didn't call. His dad's Franco, good friend of mine. Got his number in my phone, but we were busy. And anyways, I said, you know what, you're right. So I called Franco Sunday night, and we were going to go to Matteos sub restaurant on Monday, Sergio Matteos sub restaurant. And Franco goes, I watch your show all the time out here on the TV. And I said, well, Franco, you should write in sometime. So they've all been watching out there in Quebec for a long time, whether it's Videotron or Rogers Cable or Eastlink Cable. They're all watching on Game Plus TV. So can you make a little noise in Quebec and Atlantic Canada and let us know that you're watching? Now, furthermore, how well were we treated? Mon Dieu. This flag came from a Habs souvenir store. This Carey Price doll came from the Habs. Like, I literally said it on the air yesterday, and I'll say it again. When I was going on about Habs fans being annoying, they were watching. They thought it was funny. They don't care. C'est bon, c'est bon. And now their team's alive. They believe there's going to be a miracle, and they're going to come back and win their 25th Stanley Cup. And all of a sudden, we got a series. And it was very hard to sweep, by the way, in the Stanley Cup playoffs. That's why there hasn't been one since the 90s. It's hard. Is there a little bit of doubt in the minds of the Tampa Bay Lightning? No. But there wasn't any doubt in the minds of the Toronto Maple Leafs either until I got to Game 6 and Game 7 and Montreal was coming back, which furthermore brings me to point 2. Tampa Bay Mayor Jane Coulter. Look, we've all seen the clip, haven't we? The mayor of Tampa saying the Lightning are going to go easy on the Habs in Game 4 and bring it back here for Game 5 in Tampa? Hey, from Sean McCormick, what's he say? Downtown Toronto. Welcome back, Rod. I hope you and Darren had a great trip. No chance the Habs come back. Tampa finishes it in Game 5. Stamkos shows up and gets it done. Spoken like a true Leaf fan.
How about that?
Come on, Sean. What is it? Croyez-vous au miracle? Do you believe in miracles? That's what it's going to take. Hey, whether we think they're going to come back or not, which incidentally is the poll question, and I haven't tweeted it yet. Clark, I apologize. He's put it on Facebook. The daily poll question for Capital Automall University Collision Center. Do you think the Montreal Canadiens can come back and win it? What is it? 73% say no. Listen, I'm sitting here adorned in bleu, blanc, rouge. I got Carey Price riding shotgun. I would have to vote no, just based on stats and analytics. But the hockey gods showed up last night. You see what John Cooper said after the game, Tampa Bay's head coach? If you lost track of how many posts they hit, of course you believe in hockey gods and God. Because if you don't, what do you believe in? Can those hockey gods get into America, into Amalie Arena, and then come back across the border? I don't know, but it's one game at a time. The feeling that I got in Montreal on Monday was that from the fans, just the fans, it was so overwhelming to them to think that they could win 4 straight against the best team in the NHL, the Tampa Bay Lightning, but that's the wrong way to look at it. You can only win one game at a time. You can only win one period at a time. That's how Dominic Ducharme and the Habs were looking at it, and lo and behold, here we go, going to Florida. But anyways, back to Mayor Jane Coulter, who just foolishly said that the Lightning should lose Game 4 and come back to win it on home ice. This is why politicians should stay out of sports. And frankly, it's why us sports people should stay out of politics. Because nobody wants to hear our opinions on the other. I don't want to hear her opinion on sports. I'm damn sure she doesn't want to know my opinion on politics. So don't put any stock into what she says or any politician when it comes to sports, okay? What else we got, guys? Oh, Craig Smith. Our director of scouting, Craig Smith, says, love seeing your posts on Instagram. Miss going to that fabulous city. Oh, Montreal's unreal. But you know what? It's very similar to Vancouver, Montreal, in that they are the 2 most beautiful cities in Canada. They can arm wrestle over which is number 1. But they're the 2 most beautiful cities in Canada. And you don't hear them telling anybody that. Have you ever noticed? Do you ever hear Montreal pounding its chest? Who has ever referred to Montreal as the center of the universe? Nobody. And if they think they are, they would have reason to believe that, but they don't say it. Same thing about Vancouver. Unlike other major Canadian cities that need to tell you how wonderful and beautiful and great they are. But they'll remain nameless. Jeff Cabillas in Winnipeg. Hockey gods can strike at any time. Ask the crossbar I hit 3 times when playing at the Forks rink in Winnipeg. Gotcha. How about that? John in Winnipeg. John says, look at that Habs flag. I got to say, boys, it looks pretty good there. What do we think? Oh, from the resident Leafs fan. It all got quiet back there. It looks beautiful. They're Canada's team again. By the way, the warm-up's brought to you by Ecole Electric, your complete electrical distributor with locations in Regina, Estevan, Swift Current, Yorkton, and Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Ecole Electric. Let's get to work. The one thing that I realized, by the way, when I say going to Montreal was life-changing is that we need to get out of the mindset of Western Canada or the rectangle because they're all following the CEBL. They're all following the CFL. And speaking of that, that's coming up here. So I'll pick it up here in the Quick Six show topics in the warm-up. Sean Reynolds, by the way, coming up from Sportsnet Winnipeg, who's covering the Stanley Cup Final. And I literally fist-bumped with him yesterday. And now he's on the show today. Number 3 point, the NBA Finals will open tonight, and you will be watching because there's no Stanley Cup playoffs to watch tonight. It's the Milwaukee Bucks at the Phoenix Suns. And by the way, I was watching ESPN this morning getting ready for the show, and they are saying Giannis Antetokounmpo probably won't play for Milwaukee. Sorry to our closed captioner for that one. Giannis Antetokounmpo. I just said Greek freak, and why is nobody calling him the Greek freak anymore? Have we decided that that is ethnically insensitive? I'm going to continue to call him the Greek freak. No Greek freak for Game 1 tonight. Phoenix home to Milwaukee. We'll be watching. It is 7 p.m. Mountain Tip. From Talking Stick Arena. Point 4, I mentioned the CEBL. What's Shelby Gray saying there? He says, when Kucherov, can you go back? When Kucherov hit the post late in the third and Montreal killed off Weber's 4 minutes in the third in overtime, just know the hockey gods were on the Habs side and bound to win it. Yes! Especially in Montreal. I don't know where they were for games 1, 2, and 3. I just didn't think they could get into America, but they didn't show up for game 3 in Montreal either. But the hockey gods showed up in game 4. And I'm starting to think, well, they're awake now. Are they going to be on that Habs charter to Tampa Bay? We all got to watch. Whether you think they can come back or not, we're all going to be watching. So anyways, to point 4, the CEBL, there was 2 games yesterday. Are you starting to get into this? I have been from the start. Edmonton Stingers beating the Ottawa Blackjacks 104-87. This is pro basketball, guys and girls, which you can watch on CBC Gem and Twitch, and Saturday afternoons on the CBC Main network. The Hamilton Honey Badgers beat Guelph 101-89 in a battle of Southern Ontario. The Saskatchewan Rattlers are 0-4. I don't want to talk about it. Point 5, Canadian Football League. Is that a cauldron? A kettle of fish? Hey, here we go. John in Winnipeg says, CFL, I have my tickets for Labor Day weekend in Regina. A lot of tickets being sold. Listen, come hell or high water, they're kicking this thing off, right? They're kicking it off. You know that. But what the hell's it going to look like by August 5th? We saw Alex Matteos, officially the starting center, former number 1 overall draft pick of the Ottawa Red Blacks, announcing his retirement yesterday. And then, well, it's a very long list of big-name CFL players that have retired. That's the one thing. But if you're the coach, it's next man up. We know that. Whoever's lining up, they're going to play, okay? They'll grab the guy driving the milk truck if they have to. They're playing. What's the football going to look like? That's one thing, the quality. 2, if you're following some CFL players on Twitter like a Speedy B or a Terrell Sinkfield, how long have they been in isolation? 1 day, 2 days, 3 at most? And they're losing their ever-loving minds, locked up. And as a coach in Texas told me the other day, most leagues and athletes at the pro level are having to live this way. He goes, if you want to play football, you'll do whatever it takes to play football. And he goes, a year ago when you couldn't play, you'd have given a finger to have what you have right now. But as my mom would say, youth is wasted on the young. These guys, they're not prepared for isolation like this. But that's the hand they've been dealt. So I hope that the teams are providing some help for these players mental health wise, because they're going to be locked up at least until Labor Day, probably longer, let's be honest. And they're not making millions like the NFL and NHL players. So it's a tough proposition. Are they going to follow the rules? The one CFL guy I talked to this morning said they're going to have unmarked cars across the street from these dwellings of these players to make sure that they're staying locked up, because they're not making much money and your mind plays tricks on you. And some have already said, is it worth it? They've said, no, it's not. I'm up. But that's what you're not seeing reported, and that's what I'm not going to go any further down that road. There is news today that I'll get to from other locales. And just point 6, Columbus Blue Jackets goalie Matteos Kivlenieks being killed over the weekend. Just tragic. I just wanted to acknowledge him. I've been in a situation exactly like he was, and was fortunate enough to live to tell about it. He was not. So I just wanted to mention him, and condolences to his family and the Columbus Blue Jackets organization. We'll be right back. Sean Reynolds will join us from Sportsnet to talk about the Stanley Cup going to Game 5 in the Montreal Vibe. You are watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network across all 10 provinces and 31 states, live daily on YouTube and Facebook, and 24-hour sports radio. For Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Stars, you are dispatched to a scene call. Patient has multiple traumatic injuries and is unconscious but breathing.
This is why I backed the Stars lottery.
Stars, we can accept the mission.
This is why I'm all in.
Mission accepted. Have a safe flight.
The prizes are great. The cause is critical.
Stars Lottery, the lottery on a mission. Every ticket is your chance to win over $4.2 million in prizes. Buy yours at starslottery.ca or 1-844-STARS-SK.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Capital is Regina's trusted GMC Buick Cadillac dealership. Whether you're on the market for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, we got you covered. And when it's time for service work, you can trust our factory-trained technicians who specialize in repairing any make or model. But don't take our word for it. Check out capitalgmc.ca to see how we roll and to learn what other customers are saying about working with us. Your dealership experience should be fun, easy, and transparent. And that's exactly what you'll get when you choose Capital GMC, Regina's trusted GMC Buick Cadillac dealership.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Working with my family has been great. My mom and dad have taught us the importance of hard work. I've been here since I was 10 years old, and my dad has taught me a lot about quality work.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions is Saskatchewan's only full-service supply chain company. Strategic sourcing, PO creation, and order expediting, VMI and vending solutions, and free delivery are just a few of the supply chain services we provide. If your company needs it, Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions can get it for you. Price, quality, service, Rockstar Supply Chain Solution is helping Saskatchewan companies buy better.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back, everybody. RP Show continues, episode number 519 of Canada's daytime sports talk show. We got some NHL commentary coming in, some CFL commentary, some Eichel stuff, and also some breaking news from the BC Lions that we'll get to here in hour one. There is no Moose DuPont. It's just me flying the ship here for 3 days. But from my sports talk radio days on local radio, I can handle it. Funny how life goes, eh? 24 hours ago, I'm fist pumping this guy in downtown Montreal. Now I'm back in the bunker, and he's still there. Sean Reynolds joining us from Sportsnet in La Belle Province. Let's bring him in. How you doing, Sean?
I'm great. I was surprised to see where you were. I thought you were going to be going live outside my hotel or something like that. There you are back home.
Always keep them guessing. Keep them guessing, man. And we left and got home after the game last night. So, hey, man, spill your guts on Monday overall, before, after, and where we're going.
Well, let's start with the game. I mean, I thought it was I thought it was a really good one by the Canadians. I still think, if you're taking a look at the deserve to win a meter, it was a little bit more in Tampa's favor. But if I'm the Canadians, I walk away from that game, and I think the biggest issue for them in this series has been these mistakes that they've been making that Tampa has capitalized on. There was a interesting stat from Emily Kaplan that she tweeted out yesterday. I think 11 of the goals that Tampa has scored in this series have come within 10 seconds of a Canadian's turnover. And you just saw that again twice last night on really, I thought, egregious errors. But I think if you're the Montreal Canadiens, the one thing that you can take a lot of confidence from in that game is, one, that you survived that. Two, that you know what the game can look like if you can play with the lead. Three, that if you can lay the body on this team, you may be able to kind of wear them down. But four, that the game that they came with, even though Tampa, I thought, had the better of the chances and more of the ice time, that the Canadians, if they get back to that blueprint that they'd had earlier in the playoffs, you can survive all that as long as you're not making too many mistakes. Last night, they didn't make too many, just not enough. But if they can start cleaning that kind of stuff up in their game as they go on here, there's potential for them to get stronger and stronger in this series and maybe turn some of the momentum and turn this into a series here. Outside of that, I mean, we saw you in the streets there. What an atmosphere it is here. I've got to say this, I've talked about it. I was asked about this earlier on, about how this compares outdoors compared to the Jets run in 2018 when they had the Whiteout Street Party, and it doesn't compare by volume of people. The Jets fans, there were so many of them out in the streets there. It was absolutely like nothing I've seen before. But the intensity that these Canadians fans muster is like nothing I've ever seen before. I mean, they can get out there and sing Ole, Ole, Ole for 6 hours at the top of their lungs, and then they're still forced to go home by the riot police once they get there. They are unmatched in their intensity. I'm sure you enjoyed your time and what you saw while you were in the city here.
Listen, Labardi has said it here yesterday on this show. Pete said, nobody does hockey like Montreal. And this is a guy that's worked for the Flames for years, and it's true. Nobody can argue that. This flag just looks magnifique on my table here. There's just something about it. And let me say this, Sean. You've been around all the National Hockey League. If you could say to an American randomly that wanted to go to the best hockey venue, and you can't say your own team, you can't say Jets, because you can't say Vegas, Rod. Okay, for me it's Montreal. You got to go to a game in Montreal. Would you not say that in the national? Not even playoffs, just overall.
Well, and I can't even speak from the experience of having a full building, right? Like, this is 3,500 people in that building, and it is amazing in there. I can't imagine what it would be like with more than 21,000 in there. I haven't experienced it. I haven't experienced a full building. I haven't been on the road to cover a game here. I can just tell you that, the reactions and the kind of the joy that they, and you know what, Rod, I've thought about this because in Winnipeg, there's this history in Winnipeg of heartbreak, right? Like, everything kind of ends with, in 1990, they go up on the Oilers 3-1, and then they find a way to blow it. And so everything kind of in the history and the DNA of the Jets is 2018. They look like they're on their way to winning the Stanley Cup, and they lose to your team and an expansion team, and no one's expecting it. But there's this sense in the Winnipeg building that even when everything's great and they've got a great team, that somehow disaster is looming around the corner, with the club patting it in the hand, waiting to smack you over the head with it, right? Well, the history and the DNA of the Canadiens organization is they just succeed time and time and time again. So in a situation like this, when they're down 3-0, even though this isn't an organization that's ever come down from 3-0 to win a series, there's this belief that they can, because so much has gone right for this organization in the past. They believe it's their destiny to succeed. And that's a really good thing to have if you're a fan, because that feeling of never being out of it is what makes a great building. If you're one of these, self-defeating kind of fans that thinks, well, something's going to go wrong, then in tense moments of a game, you're kind of sitting on your hands and you're tense. Whereas in Montreal, every whistle is an excuse to party and get up and wave that flag that you have on your desk there. And it's they do it right here. And I couldn't agree with Sweet Pete more. It's the organization, it's the city, it's the fans, it's the players, everyone. They do hockey right in this town.
By the way, great job saying that Winnipeg is right up there, because the Winnipeg viewers have they're all coming in. You know how they are. Jason in Red Deer. I'm just going to read a few comments here, Rennie. Jason in Red Deer says, let's be real. There was way more than 3,500 in that building last night. I don't know. What are you, the fire marshal, Jason? Don't worry about it. It looked good. Jim Perry, our sales manager in Calgary, says, it's great to see the Habs compete. They may not come back, but is there any disputing that they are a good team and worthy? Tampa is stacked and the Habs are not making it easy for them. Greg in Lloyd says, enjoyed your show from Montreal. Keep it up. Good to see Rempel and Lou filling in as well. Jeff Kibilis in Winnipeg. Rennie's the man. So, you got your... And by the way, David Buswa watching on YouTube says, look for Jeff Molson to re-sign Mark Bergevin to another 5-year contract. He doesn't deserve it. The Habs got this far with smoke and mirrors, he says. It doesn't matter, man. And actually, he says the Habs won't make the playoffs when the divisions realign. This morning, Sean, I was listening to NHL radio, and they brought up 2 basic bubble years for the Lightning, potentially to win the Stanley Cup. Think about that. The bubble in Edmonton last year, this weird COVID Cup this year. There's nothing they need to apologize for should they go on to win this thing.
Oh, God, no. No, I mean, I thought Paul Maurice for the Winnipeg Jets said it best. Like, there was going to be no asterisk behind or beside the name of whoever won the Cup last year in the bubble. If anything, if there was an asterisk, it should have been for a team that found a way to do it in the most trying of circumstances. And anyone who kind of thinks that maybe, last year was a one-off or anything like that, well, take a look at the fact that, of the 4 teams that made it to the conference finals last year, 3 of those 4 teams were back in the semifinals this year. I mean, these are teams that are battle tested and hardened. And I mean, I'll take a look at this. I give credit to the Tampa Bay Lightning, and part of this will be that they didn't have Kucherov for much of the regular season, and that he's I think reestablishing the fact that we're not giving him nearly as much credit as he deserves, and that he should be clearly discussed as a top 10, if not top 5 player in the league. But Tampa, I thought got into the playoffs and have shown that they are the class of the league. I'll give credit to the New York Islanders 2 years for pushing them to the limit. And I give, so much of that credit to Barry Trotz. And I'd say this, the fact that Tampa was able to get past that team 2 years in a row with that hockey mind of Barry Trotz digging into them and all their weaknesses, and getting past his team twice. I just have all the respect in the world for Barry Trotz. I think he's a genius, the best coach in the NHL today. But I mean, John Cooper's right there with him. And I will say this, the thing I find interesting about John Cooper and that team is the weaknesses that Barry Trotz's Islanders have been able to expose in that team. Other teams haven't been able to do that. And that's interesting because you could tell going into this series, the way that John Cooper used his defense in this series was very much similar to what you would have witnessed the Vegas Golden Knights do. The Vegas Golden Knights had a lot of success against this Montreal Canadiens team. Tampa borrowed that game plan and kept parts of their own game plan and have used it to great success. I haven't seen other teams take what the Islanders did to the Tampa Bay Lightning and use it against them.
It's interesting that you would point out Trotzy and the great job that he's done, and kudos to you for doing that, because I heard a saying years ago that players win and coaches lose, i.e. when the team wins, the players get all the credit. When the team loses, the coaches take all the blame. And I'm watching the game last night with the Lightning, just zoom, letting their guys go. it was the players that didn't pick their guys up, not John Cooper. Like for one night, and let's not forget about the posts at the other end that they hit. Didn't Cooper say after the game, I lost count of how many posts we hit? Like,
yeah.
So I guess the question to you, for me, Sean, is do you think Montreal could come back? I mean, in these playoffs, anything's happened, right? At least we're all going to be watching. Do you think there's a chance?
There's a chance. I don't think it's a huge chance. I do think that if the Canadians can go down and win this next one, and I'd said that if they can win one, I think they can win two, right? Tampa does not look like a team to me that you are going to, I mean, in order to win a bunch of games in a row against another team, you either need to figure out something that works entirely against them. And the Canadians didn't, like I said, the deserve to win a meter last night still pointed towards the Tampa Bay Lightning. So just by that virtue, you know, if you replayed that game 3 more times, Tampa's winning 1, if not 2, if not 3 of those games in my mind. The Canadians, though, I what I loved about what they did is like the punishment that they doled out on Brayden Point. I thought Brayden Point started that game and looked like he was going to take that game over, which we've seen him do. And he's the kind of player who shows up in the playoffs and with an intent to go and win a game for his team. He looked like he was going to do that. And I thought Shea Weber bent Brayden Point's will last night. And I've never really seen that done before. And the way that they were leaning on those players, I do think if the Canadians can squeeze another one out here down in Tampa, that they may have the potential to wear on this Tampa team. And that's what they did. And that one thing that I did notice about, you saw it in their series against Toronto, they kind of figured Toronto out, and then they slowly started playing that series on their terms. They played the entire Jets series on their terms. And again, they started out, Vegas was the better team to start out that series. And by the end of it, it was clear the Canadians were the better team. The longer this goes, the better it is for the Canadians. So to me, this next game is absolutely critical, because if the Canadians can kind of put out their game plan, their blueprints, and have success, then at that point, I think it starts to get a little bit nerve-wracking for Tampa, because when Montreal gets on a roll, we've seen them, they do well, and when they fall into their system, they can really stick to that system. We just really haven't seen them get fully to that system, and credit Tampa for doing, or for keeping them from getting there, because their speed, I mean, you watch it, it is absolutely astounding. It was the same thing in the bubble when I covered it last year, same thing this year. That team is they're called the Lightning for a reason. They have perfect symmetry with their name.
Yeah, I don't think the Leafs got nervous until Game 6, and look how that turned out. Just a last one here. Andrew Stute says if they win tomorrow, it's the Castor jinx. He's talking about the mayor of Tampa, Jane Castor. Was there any talk in your circles of what she said? What'd you think of that?
Well, I mean, come on. Here's someone who clearly doesn't understand sports, right? Like, this is one of those things where if John Cooper and the Tampa Bay Lightning were off camera and she was talking like that, they'd be giving the old, like, stop it right now. You know what I mean? Like, what a terrible, terrible thing to say. I mean, I get it. There's this level of arrogance. And I guess when you're the Stanley Cup, the defending Stanley Cup champs, you get confidence. And when you're up 3-0, you get confidence. But you never, ever want to give up a chance to win the Stanley Cup. I mean, and hey, I get it. The Tampa Bay fans didn't get to see them win it last year, but lots of teams never see their team win it on home ice. The Tampa Bay Lightning could have become only the second team ever to win a Stanley Cup on Montreal Canadian ice. I mean, that's astounding. That's one of the most amazing stats I've heard before, with the success that organization has had. The fact that only one team, the 89 Calgary Flames, has been able to beat the Montreal Canadiens on home ice in the playoffs. That's absolutely astounding. I would have taken that stat, but clearly Tampa is feeling the swag right now. They're the NHL champs. They're the NFL champs. Everything seems to be coming up Tampa, so they wanted to have it their way and eat their cake too, kind of thing. But careful what you wish for. I'm sure Tampa was not I'm sure the Tampa Bay Lightning weren't happy with those comments, and definitely are not subscribing to them.
Yeah, Champa, as they like to say. But I say that's why politicians should stay out of sports, and guys like you and me, Sean, should probably stay out of politics, and everybody's happy. Listen, great seeing
neither of us ever listened to that, though. That's the problem.
No, that's the problem. How'd you get that flow under that hat, by the way? Because you got a lot of hair going on. How did you get that under that?
I know. It's like a 20-minute process. You got to tamp it down, wet it, and shape it. Yeah,
exactly.
I look like a normal human being right now. It's great.
Appreciate the time, brother. Enjoy the rest of the series. Always good seeing you.
Anytime, Rod. It was really great to see you.
Sean Reynolds from Sportsnet, normally Winnipeg, currently in La Belle Province. We'll be back with Viewer Takeover. I want all your comments. Fire them up now, 306-840-8777, Prairie Mobile text line. Prairie Mobile is your authorized SaskTel mobility dealer. Again, 306-840-8777. The number's on the screen. Write it down. And a sports update after this. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus television network, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives, focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade and Allowance program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
Direct West has been the bridge for me from not dealing with social media or digital presence to having a presence. You have to take the leap of faith, so to say, and I'm glad we have. Direct West has helped us out immensely to get our presence online as far as digitally and also with the social media page. To see the results is just puts a smile on your face.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. It's a fun time, although it's been fun all morning. I said you hit us up on the text line, and people have. Jim Wagner writes in, says, good morning, Team RP. Welcome home, gentlemen. Someone needs to get Lobardius to pick some lottery numbers because he totally nailed the game last night. He called it a Habs and OT. Enjoy the day, all. Thank you, Jim, for stepping up. By the way, I watched part of the show yesterday from Montreal, hour one, before I came on. And I got to say this, if I may. The show's got my name on it, but it's a really big crew around here. It's a really big crew in Toronto at Game Plus. And I just thought, I'm watching on my phone, and I'm like, this is just so awesome of a show to sit and watch Rempel and Lou talk about Game 4 of the Stanley Cup. Nobody else is doing that on daytime television in Canada. Talking sports, reviewing last night's games, previewing tonight's games. It's just so awesome. So sometimes it's nice to get on the other side of the camera, you know, and appreciate what we got going on here every day. There are some great comments here. Claude Taillefer, watching on YouTube, says, Rod showing Habs colors. I take my jerk comment back for now. Come on, we're just having fun. You have to understand, when my team is the Vegas Golden Knights, they're never very far from my heart. No matter who they're playing, they're going to be repped here. But this Montreal stuff, I'm telling you, it just looks really good. And I just said to Clark in the break, I said, you don't understand, Clark. I just learned how many people in Quebec are watching our show, Habs fans, every day. I didn't even know until I got out there. We got to give Quebec some love. Just not when they're playing the Vegas Golden Knights. We'll get to more of your comments in a moment, but to the sports update, we all got the hockey down. We know what's going on there. So baseball, Brandon Lowe hit his first career grand slam in the second inning, and the Tampa Bay Rays rallied with 2 runs in the ninth to beat Cleveland 9-8. Wander Franco tied the game in the ninth with an RBI single, and Yandy Diaz ended it with a bases-loaded grounder to second. The Dodgers' 9-game win streak is over after Jorge Alfaro hit a tie-breaking homer in the eighth to send the Miami Marlins past L.A. 5-4. Pete Alonso broke a seventh-inning tie with a 2-run double off All-Star Brandon Woodruff, and the New York Mets beat the Milwaukee Brewers 4-2 Monday in a matchup of NL division leaders. Shohei Ohtani plans to pitch and hit in his first All-Star game next week. That's according to LA Angels skipper Joe Maddon. Ohtani's manager has spoken with AL manager Kevin Cash and given his encouragement to showcase the Japanese sensation's two-way skills at Coors Field next week. Madden says Ohtani wants to play both ways, and Cash is on board with it. The current Tampa Bay manager just hasn't figured out when Ohtani will pitch, and Ohtani will become the first player in Major League Baseball history to be selected for an All-Star game as both a hitter and a pitcher. How about that, Clark?
How about that?
Game 1 of the NBA Finals between the Suns and Bucks goes tonight in Phoenix, which hasn't hosted a finals game since Michael Jordan's Chicago Bulls completed their first three-peat in 1993 against Charles Barkley's Suns. Giannis Antetokounmpo's status is doubtful, with Milwaukee coach Mike Budenholzer saying he had no update on the injured superstar's knee. The Bucks won their only title in 1971 when they were led by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The sports update for the Tap Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. We are not just Canada's daytime sports talk show, but I also feel like we are, who's else is giving you CFL coverage this time of day? So as I look at some of these comments here, Claude in Nova Scotia says, I love this show. I can't imagine my day without it. Claude, we couldn't imagine a day without you. But it doesn't take much, you know. We go to Montreal, and they showered us with love. I'm not joking. Gifts galore. At the hotel, they treated us like absolute kings. Why would we not reciprocate that? From Jeff in Calgary, the Stamps fan, Rod, would you consider doing your show live from the greatest outdoor show on earth next week? Well, hey now, that's the Calgary Stampede you're talking about. Of course, we were actually supposed to go there for a golf tournament. When was that, Moose? I know you're watching right now. Golf tournament was supposed to be this week in Calgary, and they canceled it. Jack in Vulcan, Alberta. says, Rod, I know it's been over 500 shows, but with the RP show going live from Montreal, I believe the show has just brought through to superstardom. The best there is for sure in Canada and soon North America and beyond. Love you guys. Love you too, Jack. But that's the point. Daytime sports talk. How did it not exist in Canada until now? It's amazing. And I just happen to be a small part of it. And rolling into Montreal to do 2 live shows, doing the live hit yesterday was just amazing. And they were really, really nice to us out there. I see the CFL comment. I saw somebody just tweeting, what's going on with LJ McRae. Here's the thing with the CFL. It's a little like the NHL in a way. They only want you to see the games in the NHL. Like when I say how nice everybody was to us, one of my boys ran into Carey Price in the elevator. He talked to Carey. What life's like being locked up for the last year and a half in the hotel, okay? You didn't know that. These CFL players are clawing at the walls already, and they've only been in for a couple of days. LJ McRae, I've been told, starting corner for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, has retired. The team doesn't want to say it. That's the story I got. I heard the same thing for Eli Bauka, the former Arizona Cardinals defensive back that is under contract with Saskatchewan, that he's retiring. I've seen reports otherwise, so can you imagine trying to coach this Gong Show right now? As I said earlier on in the warm-up, my God, I'll stick to NHL coverage or whatever else until they get going because it's tenuous. It's tenuous. We're just getting going here in this viewer takeover, so we'll be right back with more. By the way, next hour, Justin Dunk of 3 Down, he'll have thoughts on this. And Devin Caney, she's the face of the NLL. She'll be with us, too. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV Network, YouTube, and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Stars, you're dispatched to a scene call. Patient has multiple traumatic injuries and is unconscious but breathing.
This is why I backed the Stars lottery.
Stars, we can accept the mission.
This is why I'm all in.
Mission accepted. Have a safe flight.
The prizes are great. The cause is critical.
Stars Lottery, the lottery on a mission. Every ticket is your chance to win over $4.2 million in prizes. Buy yours at starslottery.ca or 1-844-STARS-SK.
Comfort has always been something we as people strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
At Capital GMC, we don't just sell vehicles, we buy them too. You know how we always have such a big inventory with an amazing selection? That's because we buy all makes, all models, and all years. We're going to give you the best price every time. And you don't even have to buy from us. All you have to do is visit us online or in-store, answer a few questions about your vehicle, and we'll get you a great offer. We'll even cut you a check on the same day. So save yourself the hassles of selling privately and sell it to us. Because at Capital GMC, we'll buy it.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant trade-in program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show. The Rod.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the RP Show rolling on a Tuesday, Canada's daytime sports talk show, and I couldn't be happier for a lot of reasons. John Schmeizer's watching in Kansas City. He says, damn, that Habs flag looks great on your desk. Doesn't it? And I got some Habs gear at home that I was going to wear today. I'll pull it out if this thing goes 6 or 7, but for now I'm wearing the gear of God's team, the Regina Pats Hockey Club, which historians will know had a long affiliation with the Montreal Canadiens going back in the 1950s and 60s. Pats used to have a Habs logo on their sleeve. And speaking of that, I said to all the folks in Quebec that I ran into that said, if you watch the show, would you write us? I didn't even know you guys were watching us out here. So Tim from the 514 writes in and says, Tim Capper's his name, Rod, with the city of Montreal pulling out as a World Cup 2026 host. Do you think the Grey Cup will return sooner than originally stated of 2028? This is from Tim in Montreal. I absolutely do. We're talking about something, however, Tim, that is 4 or 6 years away. This is what I think. It's going to depend on if Randy Ambrosie is still in charge. It's going to depend, by then, the commissioner of the CFL. It's going to depend on if these owners and the commissioner feel they need to give the Alouettes owners a favor. Gary Stern and Sid Spiegel. But Montreal is one of the greatest cities, as you clearly know, to host a Grey Cup. You got the venue, you've got, a lot better weather than on the prairies. But that's a little more of a Montreal problem than a CFL problem. Everybody wants to be in the queue to host the Grey Cup. We got screwed out of one. I'm still not sure there's going to be two. There's going to be one this year based on all these factors. So do I think they would move them up in the queue? Potentially, but there's a lot more factors than most people know. Chris Bird is watching in Toronto, and he says, so last week I hear that TD Place in Ottawa likely needs to demolish and rebuild the north side stands. This would affect the Red Blacks in the 67s. The hockey team has options. Where do the Red Blacks play? Well, temporarily you could play at Carleton, obviously, but listen, I read the report. They're recommending that eventually the north side stands need to be replaced. They're not saying that they're going to be condemned. They're not. They just did a reno in 2013. So I knew that would stir everybody up, but they're fine in Ottawa, I believe, for several years to come. They're not saying that these are condemned. Steve Bernard is watching on YouTube. He says, if they can beat Tampa Bay, we're back to Montreal. He says, if they can beat Tampa 4 straight, that would be quite an achievement. Having said that, don't assume that they'll win the series if they manage to win the next 2. Well, momentum is a thing. There's no doubt momentum is a huge thing, but you can only win one game at a time. You guys understand that, right? Let's not talk about 6 and 7. Let's talk about Game 5. When are people going to realize this? There's some really good comments on the Stanley Cup Final here. Bear with me. Zach Nelson's watching in Calgary, and he says, breaking news. ESPN has removed Rachel Nichols as a sideline reporter for the NBA Finals, replacing her with Malika Andrews. Oh, no. What did she do, Zach? Tell us, are they canceling her? Or is this a health issue? Oh. An audio leak, Clark tells me, of her saying something. Well, it happens to the best of them. What are we doing for time here, boys? Okay, 20 seconds left. Okay, we're gonna get out of here and come back in hour 2 with Justin Dunk of 3 Down to cover all of these things. And Devin Caney from the NLL. She's the face of the league. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network. Back right after this break.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Stars, you're dispatched to a scene call. The patient has multiple traumatic injuries and is unconscious but breathing.
This is why I backed the Stars lottery.
Stars, we can accept admission.
This is why I'm all in.
Admission accepted. Have a safe flight.
The prizes are great. The cause is critical.
Stars Lottery, the lottery on a mission. Every ticket is your chance to win over $4.2 million in prizes. Buy yours at starslottery.ca or 1-844-STARS-SK.
At Capital Ford Lincoln, we don't just sell vehicles, we buy them too. You know how we always have such a big inventory with an amazing selection? That's because we buy all makes, all models, and all years. We're going to give you the best price every time. And you don't even have to buy from us. All you have to do is visit us online or in-store, answer a few questions about your vehicle, and we'll get you a great offer. We'll even cut you a check on the same day. So save yourself the hassles of selling privately and sell it to us. Because at Capital Ford Lincoln, we'll buy it.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at Rod Pedersen Shop.
That Habs logo is on most buildings 365, just in the windows of businesses, right?
Oh, yeah.
But that's it. You don't see people running around the streets with Habs gear on and yelling and stuff. They don't think they're going to win tonight.
How about that?
People say, it would be nice if they won so Tampa could win at home in front of their crowd. You probably saw what John Cooper said about that. He's like, no, we're ending it in Game 4. They're not that positive about tonight.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hey, Canada, welcome to the RP Show, Hour 2, coming at you live. We're back home here in the bunker. It's episode number 519, and it's been fun. Moose is not here. He's going to be gone for the next 3 days. He's caddying, as a matter of fact. And we're talking a lot of Stanley Cup playoffs. We're back. We've brought gifts from our friends in Quebec, and it's unbelievable. If you weren't watching last hour, I'll say it again. I said to the folks that said, we watch you all the time. Whether they're cable carriers, Videotron or Rogers or Eastlink Cable, they're watching on Game Plus TV. I said, would you mind writing us and letting us know? How would we know? There's the one guy, Franco, said, who texts the guy on the show? I said, nope, our show you do. And now we're getting questions from people in Montreal, which is fantastic. And this flag just looks outstanding. The Montreal Canadiens flag. It's nothing special. There's like thousands of these around downtown Montreal, but that came from the merch store in the Chateau Champlain. This Carey Price doll, which my friend Bob would be rubbing with his voodoo. Must have been rubbing it last night as Montreal extended the Stanley Cup Final, beating the Tampa Bay Lightning 3-2 in overtime. Coming up in moments, 3downnation.com's Justin Dunk, and later on from the NLL, Devin Caney. She's going to be checking in from Philly. Just on the Montreal thing, we were talking about Grey Cups, and Ryan McCarthy in Saratoga, New York. He is super chatted. He's paid to get his comment read because, as you know, we are the only fans of sports talk. Ryan says, can confirm Montreal being a great Grey Cup city. The 2001 Grey Cup was my first CFL game. My lower bowl ticket was only $102.50 Canadian. Kind of think we need to get back to that. Ticket pricing. There is breaking news for the BC Lions fans, which is actually, I believe, big news for them. BC Lions Football Club returning to its broadcast roots as the club is proud to announce a 2-year broadcast partnership with Chorus Entertainment. Lions VP of Business George Chayka says partnering with Chorus Entertainment ensures our brand reach will continue to extend across the province on multiple platforms, including 980 CKNW. That is the flagship. And returning to call the play-by-play, Bob the Moj Marjanovic and analyst Julio Caravata. Two good friends of mine. So congratulations, guys. The Lions back on CKNW, Vancouver's news leader. What's up with the Dunkster? He's ready to roll? Okay. Again, if you've got questions for Justin Dunk from 3dunknation.com, fire Matteos, as we bring him in from the GTA right now. JD, man, I was just talking about you yesterday. How are you, buddy? I was just saying, Dunk's got to be happy. He's got all kinds of news going on down there at 3 Down. Hey, I bet you are.
Yeah, it's about time, man. Can I just weigh in on the Habs Bolt series for a quick sec?
Absolutely.
Because as you know, I'm the sports anchor at CHGH TV in Hamilton on the weekends, and I've gotten a number of messages saying, hey, even though the Leafs are out, the Canadians are still playing. Can we get our Montreal content on the station? Ben Sherratt, the big D-man for the Canadians, a Hamilton native. Josh Anderson, who had the overtime winner last night, a Burlington native. So we've had a bunch of fans in our area in the GTHA craving for the Canadians to finally get a win in the Cup Final. Roddy, you saw it.
Yeah, Ben Sherratt, by the way, led the way, 9 hits. He led all skaters last night for Montreal. Oddly enough, the Lightning out-hit the Habs. But don't matter. They're going to Tampa for Game 5. So to the Canadian Football League, Justin, maybe, just a recap of what's hot at 3downnation.com. Training camps are opening up on the weekend, and you obviously can feel the vibe. People are excited across this country and CFL fans around the world.
You can see it. Certainly our readership is up since the announcement by the Board of Governors that the season is a go. And to me, Roddy, what's hot right now is COVID-19 restrictions, vaccinations, and the conditions the players are going to have to at least go into the season under, because right now all the players are in quarantine for 7 days. But one of the big reasons that Brandon Labatt decided to sit out the 2021 season, at least for now, was the restrictions. Essentially, these players, Roddy, across the country are going to be housebound. Now, part of that is because what they agreed to goes all the way back to February. But also, I think the other part of it is political, that the CFL, for one, wants to make sure they can get through the season in its entirety. And on the other side, the various levels of government don't want players out and about, even though people will argue that the general public is allowed to, because they want to ensure the safety of the citizens. So it's a difficult line to walk right now, and I can understand why Labatt and potentially, others, and there's been a bunch of them, have decided not to play in 2021. But if you want to play, you know how you're going to get it done under these restrictions.
Troy Durrell watching on Facebook says, hey, JD, restrictions could change as the year moves forward, right? How would that work? We're here on Labor Day. Maybe they'll relax this a little bit.
That's right. That's kind of the timeline. They're talking, the first 6 weeks of the season, but it's really based on the presence of the virus in these communities and where we're at for the different stages. I'll get the PA memo up that I obtained that Solomon Elimimian sent out to the membership. So things can change based on a number of factors. The presence of the disease in the community, variants of concern. There's a lot of talk about the Delta variant right now, vaccination status, and the experiences during training camp, compliance, outbreaks, etc. So those to me are going to be big ones. And most importantly, how do these teams get through training camp, and can they do that without having any cases brought into the building? If they can do so, then I would think we will see some relaxed rules going into the season.
Yeah, well, it's listen, I just came back from Montreal, as you know, being around the NHL guys. This is no different than what the NHL's been going through for a year and a half, or these other leagues. We just don't hear about it as much. And their players aren't on Twitter like Terrell Singfield or Brandon Banks talking about being locked up. Whatever. That's just the way that the CFL is. But it's no different. They're not being punished. I think that's the 1 point. And 2, I just said this an hour ago, Justin. Could you imagine having to coach this? If you're a CFL coach, because you know these guys, they're creatures of habit. They want to know what they have. You got Ottawa losing linemen left and right. Riders now this. There's more to come. There's more to come from what I hear with other teams. So, man, they are going to open camp. I don't think there's any doubt, but they don't know what their numbers are going to be, who's going to be in camp. That's the sense I got.
I might have lost you guys audio-wise. I'm not sure what's going on.
Uh-oh. Can you hear us? What do you do? What does he got to hit refresh? Yeah, here we go. You got him back? You got us now, gotcha. Youngster? Somebody's texting you. Of course, you're the Adam Schefter of Canada. I won't keep you much longer. I guess my point, and I'll sum it up quickly, was can you imagine having to coach this, being a position coach, let alone a head coach, with not knowing if you're going to have your full complement of players on a day-by-day basis?
That would be very tricky, and I posed that question to Riders head coach Craig Dickinson, and he had stated that indeed he does have a plan if he happens to contract COVID-19 in terms of what coach would then become the bench boss and take over those duties. And there's really only so much you can do in terms of the players because of the smaller roster sizes in the CFL. You can go to the practice roster, and there's going to be an additional quote taxi squad that you can keep, but it's going to be tricky because, as you mentioned, let's say, for example, Cody Fajardo somehow gets the virus, out of his control. It's invisible. We can't see how it happens, and it's difficult to track. Then you got to go to your next guy, whether he's ready or not. So Isaac Harker, fortunately, has at least a game under his belt. But overall, from game to game, it's going to be very difficult. I think the NFL going through their season last year would have given them some ways to look at how you can manage those situations. But in reality, until it actually happens, you don't know how you can get through it.
From TSN, Dave Naylor reporting, hearing that longtime CFL coach Rich Stubler's in Toronto and expected to take on a role with the Argos. It'll be interesting to see why a couple days before the start of training camp, the Argos feel the need to add Stubs, which he's a tremendous coach, obviously, but obviously there's something there that's not quite yet being reported. Wayne in Victoria says, out here in BC, we will go to stage 4 on September 7th. It means BC will be back to normal on crowd size, etc. So there's the crowd thing, there's the roster thing, and the players and keeping themselves safe. What else is going on in CFL circles, Justin?
Well, in terms of just getting the players up here, behind the scenes, some people were describing it as a nightmare. And at the best of times, it's difficult to get everything organized and players across the border in a non-pandemic world. So that's the focus right now, is getting everybody in. From what I've heard, the majority of players that are going to be at training camps league-wide are in their respective cities. And I will say that there are players like, let's say, the Toronto Argos, sounds like they're going to have their training camp in Guelph. So they're doing their quarantine there. So not only are you traveling to, let's say, Pearson Airport in that case, but you have to get out to an entirely different city in Guelph. So you got to find a way to get all of these logistics done. That's really what's taking up a lot of the time right now behind the scenes. Most of the players are in, but it's about following all of the protocols to a T so that you can get to the point where the restrictions are relaxed. So I think that's what's been really exhausting for people behind the scenes. They might not say it on the record because they want to be playing football, and a lot of them are thankful to be playing football. And I'm talking about football operations people and obviously the coaches and players as well. But there are a lot of T's to cross and I's to dot here as we work towards getting to training camp and even to the season.
Marlene Stanicki watching on Facebook says, Justin, any news on LJ McRae? If I may, before you answer that, Justin, I'm told that he has retired. That's the veteran corner out of Catawba College for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Unless you know different, that's just what I've heard.
Well, Roddy, you got your boots on the ground there in Regina, and that was the sense that I was getting. And people see the two different lists that are being used right now is either the retired list, which makes sense, it's very easy to follow, but the suspended list, I think there's been some confusion there, and that's where LJ McRae was placed. So you can only put a player on the suspended list if they don't report for any type of a team activity. Generally, obviously, that is mainly practices. So the fact that LJ McRae ended up there saves the team a roster spot in the case that he decides to come back. But you got to remember, McRae, yes, he became a starter, but that guy was on a minimum salary contract, $65,000 plus probably some incentives. I'd have to look it up to give you the details. But to him, I'm sure he looked at it and thought, well, 14 games, prorated salary, is it worth coming up there, having to pay rent in Regina and also take care of my family at home? It probably would have been best for him, and I'm sure this played into the decision, just to stay at home, and he would have come out further ahead in terms of the financials and taking care of his family.
Wow. If you don't mind taking some comments from viewers, Justin, before we let you go here. Jeff the Stamps fan says, luckily the Stampeders haven't been too hurt by these retirements. Knock on wood. And he's right. He's right. What are they doing in Calgary that no other team really has had to deal with this? They haven't had to deal with it like every other team.
Yeah, they've been a little different. I think Calgary is a much more younger team, right? And there's more of those pieces around Bo Levi Mitchell that are going to be younger with some of the guys move on, especially to Toronto. Eric Rogers might be the top one overall. But I think, they had their retirements, whether that happened before this training camp or this season was actually put into place. For example, Rob Maver, the longtime punter there, retired following the 2019 season. He was kind of reading the tea leaves anyways and had been doing some work off the field. But I think some of those things had happened. It just didn't happen in this vacuum where we've seen all of these retirements come out at once, right? A lot of these decisions had already been made, and players were either just staying quiet to try to get some Q's money, or they were making sure that they could get any signing bonus money that they had on their contracts.
From Nelson, he writes in and says, if we see players end up on a suspended list, are those opt-outs for 2021? Will choosing not to play in 2021 count against a year on your contract? I know you're talking to agents all the time. What's the buzz on that?
Exactly. So in terms of the suspension list, if you don't show up, that's where you go. And we saw what happened with the contracts in 2020 when the season was canceled, was that year ran just like it would in any other year. And because you weren't playing games means you don't get paid on that contract. So it wouldn't necessarily bump it forward. It would just be you're deciding not to play. Let's take Brandon Labatt, for example. He's decided not to play. He had a $30,000 signing bonus, I believe, on his rework deal with the Riders that got in December. So he keeps that money, but he won't get any other money in 2021. However, that 2022 year still stays intact. So I hope that answers the question.
Absolutely. We're kind of running out of time. And is Devan lined up? Is she with us? Oh, she will. Okay, just a real quick one. Chris Bird in Toronto says, I think the Argos are in similar shape. Not too many guys missing due to unexpected retirement or holding out for COVID issues. So Toronto's a team that hasn't really been hit hard like the Saskatchewans, the Ottawas. Edmonton's lost a few. Any insight on as to why? Same explanation for Toronto, do you think?
Yeah, very much similar. I think they would have had some of theirs. Plus, it's a whole new regime there in the way that they've gone about recruiting players with Ryan Dinwiddie and Michael Pinball Clemens and John Murphy has made the guys want to be a part of it there in Toronto. And they feel wanted, so they're going to stay.
All right, Justin, I feel like we could go on further. Let's do it again sooner than later. I know you're busy. Everybody hit up 3downnation.com. What's popping there today, JD?
Oh, boys. Well, Bo Levi Mitchell was on a recent CBC podcast and says he's embracing the villain role when he comes to Saskatchewan. Didn't play there in 2019. The last time he was there at Mosaic Stadium, 2018, it was a loss, even though he threw 4 touchdowns. So that piece is going off right now. Marcel Desjardins said, hey, if you want to lose your money, you can bet against the Red Blacks being in last place this season. So those are just a couple of the stories that are popping off right now on the site.
I love it. All right, Justin, thanks again for all the time, man. Stay safe. See you soon.
Thanks, man. See you later.
Are we still saying stay safe? Is that a thing? Okay. All right, we're going to Philly next, where they watch us regularly on Game Plus television down there on TDS cable. Devin Caney joining us from the National Lacrosse League. They had the expansion draft last week. We'll get to your comments. We got overtime coming up, sports update. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus television network, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Ultimate Fan Zone. Shop online. UltimateFanZone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away. UltimateFanZone.ca. Or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFC Downtown Moose Jaw. Home of everything authentic.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Our parents always taught us about the importance of quality of work and friendly service. And here at Suds Car Wash, we're a family-run business, so it's really important that our customers feel like family.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Laid back and kicking it. Let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
All right, welcome back, everybody. The RP Show continues on this Tuesday, July 6th. No Moose Dupont for the next 3 days. He's caddying, as a matter of fact, but I'm handling here in the big chair, and it's going fine. By the way, support for the Rod Pedersen Show is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right. The 4.0. It's got a headlight on it. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code RP20 at manscaped.com. And people would have to be a little dense to not notice the Montreal Canadiens gear that has adorned the desk here. This flag came from our friends in Montreal, this Carey Price doll, as they've extended the Stanley Cup Final to Game 5 at least Wednesday in Tampa Bay. And closed captioner guy from Game Plus TV from our studios in downtown Toronto says, I hadn't been a spiritual or religious person until this Habs run, but now I'm a believer. The wheels of fate are in motion. It took this for you to believe in faith and spirituality?
How about that?
Took you this long? For those that don't believe in this stuff, I go, what do you believe in? It could happen. All right, let's go to Philadelphia now. Devin Caney. She would argue that she's not the face of the NLL, but we say that she is. How you doing, Devin?
Hi, you guys are too kind. I'm doing well. How are you?
It would appear that you're doing well. You've been traveling, you've been busy, you've been doing things, and we're all getting ready for this NLL season that won't start up until several months from now. But for your fans, before we get into the expansion draft and stuff, what's been keeping you busy?
Oh, man, a lot of stuff. Always exciting things happening in the NLL. I was just in Texas last week hosting the expansion draft for our new Panther City Lacrosse Club. Always doing fun things around Philly. The Sixers kept me busy for a while, but unfortunately not anymore. So, now just hoping to enjoy the summer before the NLL season starts up again.
Have you been going to some Phillies games too?
I have not made it to a Phillies game yet, I'm ashamed to say, because they haven't been playing too well. So it just hasn't been something that's too enticing. But I do plan on getting there eventually.
Hey, listen, but that's the thing. I see how busy you've been. You can't do everything. So we all had our eye on that expansion draft last week. We had Ryan Flaherty on last week, the TV voice of the Rush, to preview it, and he nailed who the Rush would lose in that expansion draft. So what was it like being there? How did the broadcast go? And how excited are they in Fort Worth, Texas, that they actually have players to go with their expansion team?
Right. That's always the most exciting part, I think, for new teams, because now I've seen a few come into the National Lacrosse League, and it's like you finally have players, or at least a start of a roster, and now it feels real, because until you have players, you're just a name, maybe a logo and colors. So it was really exciting. It was great to be a part of it. I had never been to Dallas or Fort Worth, so it was really cool getting to experience that city. And I didn't realize the difference. People from Fort Worth and who live in Fort Worth are very, proud of Fort Worth and make it very clear that it is not Dallas, even though they're pretty close to one another. But the event was amazing. It was so much fun. They had really cool guests. They had Charlie Collier from the WNBA, who plays for the Dallas Wings. And it was a blast. And I'm excited to see them get to play.
Questions coming in from our viewers, so I'll pause the Vegas question. That's the big one for me.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Right. But Hussey's Huddle watching on YouTube says, "Hi, Devin. What do you think of the Toronto Rock's move to Hamilton?"
You know, I've never been to Hamilton, so I think it's great. I think sometimes playing in a smaller arena kind of ups the energy of a crowd. So I'm excited to see what they can bring to Hamilton. Everyone I know who lives in Toronto or is from Ontario is fond of Hamilton. I know sometimes I hear the different regions can like be rivals, almost similar to Dallas and Fort Worth. But I think it's a good move. I understand why they did it.
From Dylan Spicer, who's watching in Nova Scotia, says, "Love that you guys report on the NLL. Go Halifax Thunderbirds." We're all over the NLL, which, by the way, and it's funny you say that. So the Toronto Rock are going to remain called the Toronto Rock, but play out of Hamilton, which is interesting. It's sort of like the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Hey, we'll see how it goes. But, you know, we had a Zoom call with Nick Sakevich, your commissioner, a couple of weeks ago, and he was just like, there was this twinkle in his eye. Like, something's coming down, guys. Just keep your ear to the ground. And it was the Las Vegas thing with Wayne Gretzky and Dustin Johnson and Steve Nash. You clearly knew that Vegas was getting this expansion club for the NLL. Like, what's the announcement done for the NLL?
I mean, it's been amazing, and we kind of have been gearing up for this. We've known this has been in the works for a while, so I can't imagine how Nick was feeling if even just I was kind of anticipating this announcement for so long. I mean, the ownership is massive. I'm so excited to see what they can do. I spent all of our front office spent almost a week in Vegas last season before the pandemic for kind of an exhibition game between the Seals, who are owned by Joe Tsai, and the Colorado Mammoth. And that was amazing. So I'm so excited to see what this ownership group can bring to a team based in Vegas full time. I mean, it's Vegas. You can't go wrong. So
No.
It's really, really exciting.
The entertainment capital of the world, although Los Angeles will argue that. But or maybe it's Albany, New York. I don't know. Tim Capper in Montreal writes, "This is any inside info on why the Albany Firewolves changed their logo so soon after unveiling it?" Is there a story there, Devin?
I'm not sure, honestly. I don't know. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Well, no, I didn't even notice that they changed.
Yeah, me neither. I was going to say that, but I don't know.
It's all good. Well, we'll look into it. Let's put it that way. You know, you mentioned the Toronto-Hamilton rivalry and other potential markets. What's Philly's biggest rival? I feel like they hate everybody.
Yeah, I guess we kind of do. Do you mean in terms of lacrosse or any?
No. As a city, what's your number one rival? Is it New York?
Oh, it's a city.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably say New York City or Pittsburgh. Yeah,
a Pennsylvania thing. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Well, you know, when we talk about, everybody's asking questions here from Albany to Toronto, Hamilton, Vegas. What's the drawing area for the Wings? Because you got all those games. And there's no other NLL team that real close. Like, what's the drawing area for the Philadelphia Wings?
In terms of fans?
Where people come from? Yeah. Where are they coming from to go to those games?
Yeah.
They're all Philly people or outside?
Philly, I think. I mean, Philly, it spans from like Pennsylvania. I don't know if you don't know where it is on a map. It's like southeastern corner of Pennsylvania. Like you can literally see New Jersey. So it also includes South Jersey. So yeah, I'd say it spans our like little southeastern corner, and then Jersey all the way to like the Jersey Shore area. But once you hit Maryland, that's where the fans cut off.
That's the cut off. I got it. Well, I'll tell you what. I did a banquet just before the pandemic hit with the great Bernie Parent, the two-time Stanley Cup champion goaltender with the Philadelphia Flyers. Well, you know Bernie, and he never misses a Wings game. He extolled the virtues of that franchise there in Philly. From Nelson says, what has spurred this expansion of the NLL? A few years back, they were an average of 8 to 10 teams, and now the league has blown up. What's the story behind it, Devin?
Well, you said you talked to Commissioner Nick Sakevich, and since he came in a couple years ago, he's had a plan to expand. And I think a lot of the league is modeled on the NHL. And if you look at the NHL, they're still expanding, right? Like they just added Seattle. And I know the NLL has aspirations to continue growing so we can be a more competitive league and have more of a presence both in the United States and Canada. So I know that's been Nick's and the leadership's and our board's vision since he came in, and it's amazing to see it come to fruition. I feel like since I've been with the league now, I want to say this is Vegas will be my 4th expansion team. So it's just really cool to see, and it's fun to kind of guess where the next expansion team is going to be, because I honestly don't know. I don't have like that big of an insight. I found out about Vegas maybe a little bit before the general public did, but it's just as exciting for me as it is for everyone else to hear.
Just a massive, massive win to have Wayne Gretzky in the ownership group of the National Lacrosse League. Steve Nash, too, and all those other guys, but big Wayne fan here. By the way, Chris Bird in Toronto's watching and writes in and says, from the Firewolves, prompted in part by feedback from a variety of important stakeholders, we decided to redesign our logo prior to hitting the turf for our inaugural season. From team president George Matteos, president of the Firewolves. Tacona Powley's watching in Winnipeg and says, we want lacrosse in Winnipeg. What's the chances, Devin?
Honestly, I've heard Winnipeg is awesome.
Oh, it is. They got a beautiful facility. Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. But their building's very busy. They've got 2 pro hockey teams there, the Winnipeg Jets and the Manitoba Moose. But speaking of all that, have you been to every venue in the NLL?
No, I have not been to Saskatchewan.
Is that the only one you haven't?
No, I also haven't been to Vancouver. I'm trying to think of where else.
Well,
most others I've been to.
You guys keep moving around, like Halifax, right? And then New England just moved to Albany. And have you been to Duluth, Georgia?
No, I've not been to Georgia, actually.
What's it? These franchises are moving all over the place.
I need to do. I know, but I haven't been able to travel for the last year and some change, so then kind of put a stop to exploring the different arenas. But I have a lot that I need to check off my bucket list for sure.
That's a very good point. And Tim in Montreal says, with Albany getting a team, I see Montreal, Ottawa, Quebec City getting an expansion team. And I could see that too. The main thing is everybody wants a team. Jordan Zapozny watching on YouTube says, on Facebook says, when will the season start? When does it end? Well, the schedule, they're talking December, right, Devin? I don't think the schedule's done though yet, is it? Is it?
I don't know if it's officially done, but face-off weekend will be the first weekend in December.
Right, December, and then the championship. Championship rolls up in June because we're usually there with the Saskatchewan Rush. Hey, just because the Rush are always in it. So just before we let you go, so you're in the podcast world now? How's that going?
Yes. Oh, it's going so well. My co-host and friend, Ashley Docking, who is Canadian and lives in Toronto, hosts Hot Mike's podcast. And we have some really fun guests on. We actually have a new episode dropping tomorrow with guest Field Gates from ESPN. So be sure to check it out. It's anywhere you can find streaming podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Google, whatever your preference is. So check it out.
Tell the viewers again the name, Devin.
Hot Mike's with Devin Caney and Ashley Docking.
There you go, Hot Mics. Devin, always appreciate our visits. A wonderful update, a lot of info there. And, hey, keep doing what you're doing, and we'll chat soon as the season gets closer.
Likewise. Thanks for having me on.
Devin Caney, the face of the National Lacrosse League, checking in from Philly, Pennsylvania on this Tuesday. It's just me the rest of the way, although I think I'm going to bring up producer Clark for overtime and the face-off, okay? Yeah, and I want you people to decide what we're going to face off about, because there's a lot of things that we could face off about. We'll update the poll question, too, when we return in a sports update. This is the Rod Pedersen Show on the Game Plus television network across all 10 provinces and 31 states. YouTube and Facebook Live and 24-hour sports radio for Suds full-service car wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Ultimate Fan Zone. Shop online. UltimateFanZone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away. UltimateFanZone.ca or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw. Home of everything authentic.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Our parents always taught us about the importance of quality of work and friendly service. And here at Suds Car Wash, we're a family-run business, so it's really important that our customers feel like family.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Capital is Regina's trusted Ford Lincoln dealership. Whether you're on the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, we got you covered. And when it's time for service work, you can trust our factory-trained technicians who specialize in repairing any make or model. But don't take our word for it. Check out CapitalFordLincoln.com to see how we roll and to learn about what other customers are saying about working with us. Your dealership experience should be fun, easy, and transparent. And that's what you get when you choose Capital Ford Lincoln, Regina's trusted Ford Lincoln dealership.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
We got to tell Moose, we got to stop with the he's back. It's been over 2 years, guys. Never, yeah, I guess. Has a different meaning now. Poll question today for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center in the wake of the Montreal Canadiens beating Tampa Bay 3-2 in overtime last night. Can the Canadiens come back from 3-1 down to win the series? On Facebook, what is it, 63% say no? And on Twitter, 70% say no. And to be a realist, I got to say, I would go in the no category. Analytically speaking and history speaking. But that's just a vote. Hockey gods don't care what we say. I just got to say, this Montreal Canadiens flag just looks fire on this desk. It might be here to stay. And for the rest of you Montrealers and Quebecers, where are you at today? Let's light it up on the Prairie Mobile text line. They were all writing in hour one. If you missed it, they're like, oh, we watch your show all the time. a lot of them in Montreal. And I said, why don't you write in? And they said, we're not used to writing into the host on the TV screen. I said, well, you can. We encourage it, as a matter of fact. I don't want to sit here and, give my opinions all day, every day. Let's get yours. Let's have a back and forth. Some good comments here from the viewers, by the way. From Nelson Hakowich, our VP of Sim Events, says, anyone else find it fascinating Patrick Roy was in Montreal last night, given how his relationship with the club ended there? There for a moral boost, or is he job hunting and rebuilding his relationship with the team? It's Patrick Roy. So there's something about these runs that, mend these relationships. Some people, some teams are big enough to get over those things. Some aren't. But in the case of Patrick Roy, he wasn't there looking for a job. Come on now. You know that. You said that yourself. He's not getting the job. What? They're going to fire GM Marc Bergevin and head coach Dominic Ducharme after this? Patrick wants one job and one job only. He's not getting that one. He was there to watch a hockey game. It's Montreal. You got to go for hockey. Lou said it yesterday. If anybody does hockey right, it's Montreal. Who was in that suite last night? Guy Lafleur, Patrick Roy. Hey, I love it. Stuart from Montreal. Rod Pedersen, love your show. I'm sure Clark noticed on our Instagram, the show Instagram, at the Rod Pedersen Show, our followers just from Quebecers. Did you see that?
How about that?
I think they were shocked that Darren and I were breaking into all of these landmark facilities. Again, the door to McGill Stadium was open, so technically it's not breaking in. The tennis stadium, that's a different story. Let's go to the sports update. I'll just read it here. The Stanley Cup Final is headed back to Tampa for Game 5. Josh Anderson scored his second goal of the game in overtime as the Montreal Canadiens avoided elimination with a 3-2 win over the Tampa Bay Lightning in Game 4. Game 5 goes Wednesday if necessary. Game 6 will go in Montreal Friday, which also reminds me, my buddy Sean Daniels, who used to play for the Rough Riders, he's from Montreal. He's in Montreal. He's like, hey, when the Habs win, are you guys going straight to Tampa? I'm like, no. There's still this little border issue. But if there is a Game 7, there's talk. There's talk. It's a long time coming for the two teams opening up tonight's NBA Finals. The Phoenix Suns are hosting the Milwaukee Bucks in a rare finals matchup. Milwaukee's seeking its first NBA title in 50 years, and Phoenix is attempting to win its first in franchise history. Perhaps the biggest question about the series is whether Giannis Antetokounmpo, hyperextended left knee, will allow him to play for the Bucks. Nobody's answered the question yet. Why is nobody calling him the Greek Freak anymore? Has that been deemed ethnically insensitive? Have we found out, Clark? Has anybody written in? Why are they not calling him the Greek Freak anymore? It's okay. You don't know. Xavier Moon continued his MVP-level season, dropping 25 points, 4 rebounds, and 9 assists, as the Edmonton Stingers blew past the Ottawa Redblacks 104-87 in Canadian Elite Basketball League play on Monday night. The Edmonton Stingers, the defending champions, are now 3-0. The Ottawa Blackjacks 1-4. Meanwhile, Trayvon Duval had his best game so far in the CEBL with 21 points, including the Elam ending winner to lead the Hamilton Honey Badgers over the Guelph Nighthawks 101-89, also Monday at the First Ontario Centre. Honey Badgers now 4-1, Nighthawks 0-3. The league's now off till Thursday when Niagara's at Fraser Valley and Edmonton is at Saskatchewan. And there will be fans allowed. There will be fans allowed at the SaskTel Center. Stephen Matz is aiming for a team-high 8th victory of the season tonight as the Blue Jays open up a 3-game set in Baltimore. Matz and Toronto ace Hyun Jin Ryu have 7 wins each. The Jays 43-39. They sit third in the AL East. 9 behind the Red Sox. But hey, Baltimore's dead last, so this is the slump buster. This is time to get some road points. The game between Cleveland and Tampa tonight has been postponed because of the path of Tropical Storm Elsa and will be made up as part of a doubleheader on Wednesday. Claude Telefort in just one more in Nova Scotia watching. He says, Rod is the closest spiritual reincarnation to Ted Devan. Why would Montreal not like you? Who's Ted Devan, guys?
How about that?
Do I need to look that up? Who's Ted Devan? Let's go to the big board. Why would Montreal not like me? I don't know, because I was cheering for the Vegas Golden Knights last series and said that Canadians fans are annoying. I don't know.
He was a radio broadcaster from the 60s.
Oh, I got it right here, yeah. He was a Canadian sports radio broadcaster born in Kingston. Yeah, nobody knows who that is but you, bro. Anyways, Clark will join us for overtime. We'll be right back. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV Network, YouTube, and Facebook Live, and sports radio 24 hours at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
Sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Comfort has always been something we as people strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. It is overtime. A lot of people's favorite part of the show. A lot of time left for overtime here. And first of all, an apology to Claude in Nova Scotia regarding his comment. I'm going to read it again if you missed it, if you just tuned in. He said, Rod is the closest spiritual reincarnation to Ted Devan. Why would Montreal not like you? So I apologize, Claude. I should know that because as we've learned, we're very big in Quebec. And Andrew Stout, a born and bred Quebecer, writes that he says he was huge on Montreal sports radio. It's pronounced Ted Devan. He used to have a slogan when he did not like a caller. It was, "You're gone." And then he would play machine guns. I heard about this, Clark. Producer Clark has come out of his cage.
Hey.
The third Sedin. No, yes. When I was at Knuckles Nylands the other night, we were talking about legendary Montreal sports radio hosts, and Knuckles is like, this guy, I guess I heard his name Friday night. It didn't stick. Do you know what I mean? At Knuckles' house.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, you could never do what Ted Devan did. You couldn't do it now. He'd be canceled for shooting listeners.
Can you imagine if he actually...
Can I shoot viewers? Virtually?
Let's do it once and see what happens.
Who's going to be first? Yeah. I nominate Jeff the Stamps fan.
There it is. How about that? Who's got the controls back here?
Alan's back there right now. Come on, Alan. Let's go.
He's sleeping at the wheel.
You people. In the control room. On the Greek Freak and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Why don't they call him the Greek Freak anymore? Like, I notice these things. Nobody else notices the things that I notice. Did you notice?
Not as much as you did, but you've mentioned it a few times.
So Nelson writes in and says, wanting to go back to his Nigerian roots, he knows the Greek Freak is part of who he is, but tells people, there are a lot of people that I see and I tell them that I'm African. I am not just the Greek Freak. And is pushing to distance himself from the nickname. Similar to Mike Riley, I guess, wanting to be called Michael Riley.
There you go.
And Jeff, the Stamps fan, was listening with half an ear. Writes in and says, what am I being nominated for? The first viewer to be shot. And see if we can get away with it.
Let's brand him while we're at it. Might as well.
Are we going to brand him then shoot him or shoot him then brand him?
What would take away the pain faster? I don't know. Maybe branding after we... Here we go.
By the way, there was breaking news here. Ottawa Red Blacks signing Michael Klukas, Canadian receiver who was tremendous in the Sim season, as you know.
Huge.
Yeah.
He had a huge season in the Sim season. So if he can play anything like that, that'll be a
That's probably what the Red Blacks are counting on, right?
I mean, what else did they have to scout for the last year and a half?
Scouting the video games. So we always do on certain days the face-off for the Mad Greek Restaurant and the Ultimate Fan Zone. And today, what did you want to... Oh, you go ahead.
Well, will Carey Price win the Conn Smythe even if they lose? So even if the Habs lose, should Carey Price be the winner of the Conn Smythe Trophy? That's the question. Do you want to start it?
You go first.
I'm going to say no. It's been forever since the losing team has been given the winner of that award. I don't know if you remember the last time. I don't remember.
Well, I always think Ron Hextall, 1987, but there's been one since, I believe. Let's go to the big board while you talk about that. There it is. Suffering Leaf fan. Thanks, guys.
But yeah, no, I think it's just there's too many good players on Tampa Bay that if Montreal loses, I don't think they're going to give it to Carey Price. Also, he's looked pretty human these last few games, and I don't think that he's put up. If he would have shut out the Lightning a few times in the last couple of games, I think there would have been more of a conversation. And if it goes longer and he has a couple shutouts, maybe it's in there. But
here we go. They got to win the Stanley Cup for Carey Price to win it. There's been too many great guys on Tampa Bay.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
So no, we're both saying no unless Montreal wins. But the last to win on a losing team, the Conn Smythe, was J.S. Giguère in 2003.
Yes.
Prior to that, Ron Hextall in 1987. And the only skater ever to win the Conn Smythe was Reggie the Rifle Leach. And his name's come up in a loss. And his name's come up because Braden Point was challenging his record and happened. So Carey Price, as much as we love him and he adorns our desk here every day, he's probably not going to win the Conn Smythe Trophy. And by the way, didn't have 3 great games to open the Stanley Cup Final. Let's remember that, too.
Exactly. And you think back to J.S. Jaguar in 2003. Like, that was every game in those playoffs that year with the Ducks was like 2-1, 1-0. Like, there was shutouts galore. I think his goals against was like 1.3 or something stupid. So I think it was a different era for goaltenders, and I don't think it's the same right now. Carey Price is great. He has had a great playoff run. Probably dragged the Canadians to where they are currently, but I don't think that's qualifies them to win the trophy if they lose.
This Habs flag is staying up for as long as this Stanley Cup Final's alive. It looks fire on this desk. The face-off is brought to you by the Mad Greek and Moose Jaw. The patio is now open for licensed dining. Visit them today. And by Ultimate Fan Zone, now just a click away from our man cave to your man cave. Shop online today at ultimatefanzone.ca.
I got this Jays jersey from the Ultimate Fan Zone, by the way. A nice baby blue Jays jersey, customized with Vladdy Guerrero on the back. You can't see it, obviously, but Ultimate Fan Zone, baby.
One other thing that we didn't do last week on our Friday live broadcast from Montreal in the Chateau Champlain was our Business of the Week. Are those guys cool with that? Are they ready to dig that up? Or am I asking too much of Alan, the intern?
There's a button. Alan should be able to find it.
Okay.
There it is.
Nice. This intern is
got that
fire.
Water bottle down
He's
there
a
too?
beast.
Oh, he's great. There it is. Look at this.
Our Direct West water bottle here. Direct West connecting businesses in this province. The MySask 411 Business of the Week. Since 2001, Regency Palace has served the people of Regina, and loyal patrons of the store always come in for the Peking duck, ginger beef, and almond prawns. Been there, loved it every time. Find them on mysask411.today. MySask411. It's a phone book in your hand. It's on the main screen of my iPhone. Download it and get to work. Boy, we took care of a lot of business today. Producer Clark.
Yes. Lots.
Are we going to go back to more viewer comments here?
Yeah, we got a couple minutes left.
We're talking about who's... By the way, that Montreal radio announcer, I apologize, Claude, for not knowing who he is, but if I feel like I know him now, that would shoot sound effect guns at the listeners to get rid of them, and we're saying who could be the first viewer that we shoot. And I've nominated Jeff, the Stamps fan.
How about that?
He said, sure, he's up for it. I didn't say kill. We could shoot him in the leg.
Yeah, non-lethal shot.
Who would be yours? Monty?
No. I think depending on the day, there's a few guys out there, but they know who they are.
You don't even want to say, come on, have fun with it.
Well, you know what? I'll give him credit. Brady Witt has changed his colors. He's changed his attitude about a lot of things. I think he learned a few lessons over the last few weeks. I think he's grown a lot, so I'll give Brady Witt credit. But a few weeks ago, it would have been Brady Witt.
From Jack in Vulcan, Alberta says, a trip to the train station is less complicated.
How about that?
Take him to the train station. Brady, by the way, on cue on the Prairie Mobile text line.
Hello, Brady.
Hey, Rod, we're going to a Game 5. I'm proud of this team. Habs fan, obviously. He says they continue to prove why they got to this point, which is a team based off character, grit, determination, and resiliency. I trust in this team and know every game here on out they will be leaving their hearts, blood, tears, and passion all out there on the ice. I'll continue to believe in this team till the very end. It's not till it's over. Go, Habs, go. Wasn't he just ripping the spit out of them on Instagram?
Of course. But that's what I'm telling you.
Randolph Zora in Toronto says, pick me, is volunteered to be shot.
Well, there you go. I didn't expect so many volunteers.
I know. All right, Clark, thanks. See you tomorrow, noon Eastern, 10 a.m. Mountain, right here on Game Plus TV Network. You screwed up, Clark.
How about that?